Hey everybody, it's Dac here, and I wanted to let you all know that I have split into two channels. One is Dac of All Trades, that's what you're on now, and that's where I'm going to be doing art, build videos, and science videos, and really anything that feels interesting, maybe some sketches. And then the second one is Dac56, so if you're not subscribed there, go and check it out. That is my video game and gaming channel. So that's where all of my Minecraft and elsewhere content will be, Project Winter, and any other video games or anything like that that I do. So if that's something that you're interested in and like watching, then go subscribe there. And if you're not subscribed here, I would recommend doing so. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. Okay, so today's video is a little different. Today I'm not actually going to be drawing or making anything new, but I wanted to show you guys some of my past sketchbooks. So this is going to be sort of a sketchbook tour, and the reason I wanted to do this is just to show you sort of where I've come from and what I've been doing, and now that I'm moving into digital art, kind of what I'm trying to move to. So let's go ahead and get started. This is one of my first sketchbooks that I still have. I have a lot of older ones, but I don't really have them anymore. So this one, let's see, okay. So yeah, so this one I seem to have a couple of experimentations. This one I was drawing some old Vinci Works. So, we've got one of Da Vinci's sort of old pieces that I recreated. And then in the same sort of style, I wanted to make my own thing. So this is actually my friend Kyler. And I drew this from a photo reference and tried to keep sort of the style that Da Vinci had. So you can see it's sort of, he's got this like scribbly shading. And I try to do the same thing here in this one of Kyler. This is a pretty funny photo, by the way. He's got like a Spock ear and like a propeller hat. And here's a piece where I was trying to comment on the sort of problem of homelessness in America. And so what I wanted to do, I really liked this idea of having just like the whole page covered in these like little dashed lines. It's supposed to be rain. And we have a homeless person over here and somebody who's more well off in their sort of suit with their umbrella. And, they are out of the rain and dry, and the homeless person, is being rained on, all their stuff is being rained on. And I didn't give either character faces because I wanted to sort of send home that point that it doesn't matter who these people are, and it's almost like they don't even recognize each other's existence. They're just faceless people that they're walking by on the street. Sort of that idea that we don't notice those around us a lot of times. So here we have a piece that I was actually very proud of when I made it, and I wanted to go with like a sort of cyborgy skeletal thing. So I drew this skeleton, and then if you notice, there's sort of these like mechanical portions kind of like woven in. So there's like some cables attaching the clavicle to the skull, and these tubes coming out of the eye, and you can notice this eye is more like of a mechanical thing. And then down here, there's like all these cables hooking up the sternum to the different ribs and like this wire going through. I also like the idea that this one was all black and white except for this one red cable. So I liked this piece a lot when I made it. This one is a really old 10-minute still life that I did. And then another very quick 10-minute still life that I did of my own hand. Here's one where I was trying to be a little bit more experimental. I made this one pretty quick, but I like the idea of like these different sections of different patterns and then something very weird in the middle. I actually ended up turning this into a sculpture, which I can show my sculptures sometimes later. Let me know down in the comments below if you'd like to see sort of my sculpture work. This one here was another concept idea for a sculpture. And now we get into some of the like weird cartoony stuff I drew when I was younger for a game called Quest, which is very similar to Dungeons and Dragons. These are all characters. So we had like this weird pencil guy. Here's another quick character thing that I did pretty fast. That was just supposed to be for Quest. Another cartoony character thing for Quest. This one's something that I did pretty quick, which was also for a game of Quest, and it was like a puzzle that people had to figure out. I think, as you can see, it's called the dependency tree. Here's a creature that was like a little termite kind of thing in one of my Quest games, and I actually based this off of an image I saw on the internet, which I thought was kind of interesting, so just a little creature. This is back when I was doing some graphic design work. My younger brother, I believe, was doing this thing called camp crates, so these are a bunch of concept ideas for sort of like logos and things. I think he ended up going with this bottom left one. Here you can see this was right after I was accepted into college, I believe, and our mascot is like a goat thing. So sort of high school senior, I drew this, which was like a robotic goat to try to represent sort of that acceptance letter. So that's kind of the end of this sketchbook, and then we're going to move on to another sketchbook that I was doing at the same time as this one. So I've only have 2 drawings in this next one that I want to show you guys. This is one of them. So this one was actually a redraw of a drawing that I did when I was a kid, and I don't know what I was thinking here, but it's I believe a mosasaur with like a scorpion tail, and at this time I wanted to try some different styles of art. And so I did this one in stippling, which stippling is, where you take a lot of really small dots to make an image. This one took a very long time because of the stippling, but I actually really like the way it turned out. So, you kind of have like this mosasaur body and then like scorpion tail coming up. And in the original image, I had like a little blue whale down at the bottom for scale. So I tried to do like a little blue whale down here. Then the next one I want to show you is this guy. So this is a creature that I came up with when I was very young. It was like sort of my imaginary friend. They're called fluzzles. It was like a little imaginary race of these adorable little like marsupials. And my friend and I used to play a lot when we were really young. That one, I was a fluzzle and he was a poof, which was his version, his own thing. And so I wanted to make a fluzzle. So this is kind of that. So this is all that's in this sketchbook. So let's go ahead and move on to a more recent sketchbook. All right, so this is one of my more recent sketchbooks, and I started this one sometime in college. So this is when I started, testing out my hand at cartooning, and also started using alcohol markers. If you haven't ever used alcohol markers, I would recommend doing so. I love using them. So this was just a little cartoon drawing. Yet again, in the cartooning sort of side of things, I wanted to do some like cartoon characters. So this guy was like a dancer that I drew. And then we have a different game, one called Monster of the Week. I was going to make a campaign for, and this was going to be one of the non-player characters. So this one, I forget his name. I think it was like Buck Remington or something. He was sort of supposed to be the all-American guy with a gun. So that's a cartoony one again. This was another character from that same quest line, which she was supposed to be sort of like one of the stereotypical girls who would be at like a Forever 21 or something. So yep, another cartoony one. This one is actually one of my favorites. This is a cartoon I did of my friend Orion. So my friend and I, Kyler, were doing like a little challenge where we both took the same photo of my friend Orion and we drew a cartoon of him. And this is mine. And I actually really like this one, not only because it's of my friend, but also I think that I did a pretty good job on capturing the way that cartoon looked. So this is Orion. So moving on, this page was just a little bit of a study. I was trying to figure out different facial expressions for cartooning. These are all based off of things I found on the internet. So different eyes and some different, characters based off of ones that I found on the internet. These were all done from reference. But I wanted to test my hand at, making these cartoon expressions and, how big should the eyes be? Where should the mouth go? And how do you, structure things on the face so that you can tell expression? I really like this one down here. That's why I colored it. After that, we get into my Dnd campaign characters. So these are all characters that my friends play in the Dnd campaign that I host. So I'm the DM for it. This one's name is Yvain, and this is actually an old photo of her. My friend Kelly plays this character. But since then, Yvain has died and been reincarnated and is now a different race. So she's now a tiefling, which is like a devil person. But this is an old version of that character. Moving on, we have 2 more characters. This one is Amr, and this one is Vel. This one's played by my friend Zach, and I've actually updated this one because this is not quite representative of the character. And then this one over here is Vel, which is played by my friend Alan. And this one is pretty representative still, although I think he's maybe taller now. So yeah, these are some more D&D characters. And then we have Alfonso, which was played by my friend Kelly, a different Kelly. And he was a very pompous sort of human, rich boy. He has since left that campaign, but he was an interesting character. We then move on to some of my characters. So this one was Flynn, the human boy or the normal boy. And it was supposed to be sort of like a more realistic version of Finn the human from Adventure Time, the sort of farm world version of him. And this was my character in a cyberpunk campaign. This character died, however, from one way or another. So these were all concept ideas for a character that I was playing in a one-shot. So he was a more like robotic character. Here we can see some different concepts I had for cartoon versions of myself. And I actually am probably going to go with this one down here, or this one up here. That's why I kind of separated them out. And then you can see a list up here of like the different parts for animation. But this was one of my concept pages for when I was making cartoon versions of myself. And then it looks like the last page here, because I'm still working in this sketchbook, are some different poses. I've been testing and trying out my figure drawing, so you can see the sort of blue construction and then drawing the pose over it. So these were some pose studies for my figure drawing. And then after that, everything in this one is blank. So let's move on to my most recent sketchbook. I don't know why, I typically work on 2 sketchbooks at a time. So this sketchbook is one that my friend Kyler gave me. And there's really not a lot in it. So you can see this first page here was just me doing some more concept art for trying to figure out cartooning. So I have a couple of facial expressions and one that's more like a monster person instead. I really don't like this one up top. So yeah, so that was at that page. And then here we've got my concept designs for a prior video where I was trying to create my own characters. So this one, the style is based off of the show Hilda, but these were all original character concepts, and you can actually go watch that video. I'll card it up top. So if you want to, you can go watch that video where I bring these guys to life and do a full digital piece on them. Here is what they ended up being, so once I put them together, and again, that's in the digital version now. And then finally, the last thing in this sketchbook is just a character posing challenge. So I tried to do this one very quick. So I think this one was maybe a minute or 2, where I just sketched out the geometry and tried to put the form over it. So again, figure drawing reference sort of thing. So yeah, I think those are all of my sort of recent-ish sketchbooks. If you guys want to see more of this kind of stuff and you'd like to see some of my sort of past sketchbooks, just let me know if you'd like to see those things. So these are some of my 4 more recent ones. If you'd like to see ones from when I'm a kid or just earlier on, let me know. So I hope you guys liked this video, and I'll let other me take it out. As always, thanks for watching this video, and remember to like, subscribe, and share with your family, your friends, and that weird neighbor down the street. Also, if you like what I do here, be sure to check out my Patreon to help out. And until next time, I hope everyone has a nice day.